Neil from Essex here, and this is one of my favorite New Holland tractors. Oftentimes we make the assumption that the new machines are where all the new features, all the cool stuff is found, but that's not always the case. This machine right here that is 15 or 20 years old was very much ahead of its time and has some cool and unique features that are not found on some machines today. So we're gonna take a couple minutes today and walk you around one of my favorite machines, the New Holland TC40.
Essex, a helping hand with your land.
There are two things on this machine that are really unique. And the first of those is the loader and the steering setup. When we talk about New Holland tractors and their compacts, they have always used this long swept loader arm design. It does stick the bucket a little bit further out in front of the tractor than some other machines. Maybe hurts the lift capacity a little bit, but gives a lot of lift height and reach to the machine that's often not found in the other units. That has some benefits to it, right? These are generally agricultural tractors, and so if you're doing things like stacking bales and doing that kind of work, that swept design really makes the visibility and the sight lines great, and it gives that extra lift and height reach that you need in order to stack bales or load into feeders in a way that a lot of other compact tractors can't quite manage. This one, though, is swept even more than usual. Normally, this tractor is found with a 16 LA loader. This is a 17 LA loader and adds an additional couple of inches to the length of that loader. That is there because of this super steer front axle. Super steer is a function that New Holland had some years ago where in addition to your front tires turning, your front axle can pivot as well. And by allowing that front axle to pivot, that really increases the steering angle of this tractor, making this mid-size 40 horsepower machine extremely nimble. Go back to that agricultural application again. If you're gonna be working inside of a barn and those kinds of things, this allows you to be able to maneuver into some tight spaces that you might not otherwise be able to get into. So very cool, very unique feature. I don't know any other machine that's been out there on the market that has an articulating front axle, but this one does. To give you an idea of just how nimble this is, I'm in a parking space here. We're gonna come forward and take this the whole way around and go lock to lock with this tractor. No steering brakes or anything involved there. I did what? Maybe 5 feet on the inside turning radius. Now because of the length of this loader, that outside radius is going to be a lot bigger. It still has a pretty good swing to it because of the long loader, but still maneuverable, right? If you're looking to be able to tightly maneuver around something, say coming out one turn and turning around with your mower deck to go back on your next pass, it is an extremely maneuverable tractor. The next unique feature that this tractor has is a 2x2 range selection for the rear end. This is a hydrostatic tractor. They made a gear drive variant of it, but that transmission is bolted on to a range selector, right? All of your tractors are this way. Most machines have a simple low, medium, high, but this one has a mechanical high-low with an electronic shift on the go under power 2x2 on top of that. So that effectively gives you 4 ranges, with the top 2 ranges being shift on the go under power. Now, some companies have come out with this in years since. Kubota offers it over on the Grand L series of tractors, but this was really unique for the time. It was a time that no other manufacturer was offering a feature like this, and some others saw some value in picking it up later. But it is a really handy feature to use. As you're driving the machine around on your loader stick, you have a high and a low button, and just by tapping that button, you can have a little bit more speed or a little bit more power depending on which range you're in. And the fact that you can shift it on the go and not have to stop and work straight cut gears into the right place makes it really nice to operate. It's a great machine to get around. So unfortunately, these machines are getting up there in age, right? They're starting to get some years on them. You can pick them up on the used market at a good price. But I think it's really cool to be able to look at this and recognize, technology of maybe a little bit further along than what we sometimes realized years ago, right? People have been looking at tractors and equipment and finding new and better ways to do things for a lot longer than what we might recognize sometimes. So shopping for a piece of equipment and we can help, or if you have parts and service needs for a machine you've already got, give us a call at Essex. We're available at 800-222-3373 or online at Essex.com.